Manifesting is easy, and yes, you can do it. No matter what, no matter the circumstance. Want $1 million house, free DoorDash, get taller, shorter, different hair texture, sexiest person on the planet that's obsessed with you, be completely healthy, that girl that keeps ignoring her texts, but you want her attention anyway. You can do it. You can do it right now. It's as simple as feeling it real. However you do so, just keep the feeling of fulfillment. When are done, then are did. That's it. That's what we call techniques, SATs, and revision, scripting, affirmations. I've tried them all, and they all are wonderful techniques. I love doing all three. It doesn't matter, it's just a placebo. I don't care if it's a touch your toe method. Just be fulfilled with your desire in the end. Desire gives birth to jealousy, hatred, bitterness, and greed. All stem from unfulfilled desires. If man were to stop desiring, then these nasty thoughts, feelings would cease. If you desire and don't fulfill, you open yourself to these things. You look to your neighbor as your enemy. But in reality, you are looking to the entire outside world as an enemy, holding on to what you desire and not giving it. You will hate your world, and you will one day want to destroy it for causing these terrible thoughts of jealousy, hatred, or rage, and greed. But there is truly no cause of desire within other than you. You, inside imagination, have a choice to live in desire or fulfillment. This is far greater than any materialistic pursuit. If how we live inside ourselves dictates the course of our life, then if I am desiring within, then I am a desiring self. Since we have no choice but to project our inner selves, then I will find what I desire everywhere. Someone will have what I want, and then I give rise to all sorts of disgusting feelings. For there is only one being, one I am, playing all the parts. If we could truly see that imagination is the cause of all things, then if we are desiring wealth, health, wisdom, fame, etc., we must go to the cause for fulfillment. That I am not desiring wealth outside of me but within. That I am not looking to be jealous but to believe I have. Knowing that desire is within me and it is a self-concept I am holding on to, then I can change myself into a fulfilled self inside. Are you not seeing results? Here is the missing ingredient you are ardently looking for: commitment. Most of the time, when you cannot manifest what you want, the fault is rarely in the technique you use. The fault is in the level of your commitment. You do not commit to your affirmations, your mental diet, or the scene you visualize long enough to see the results you crave so much. You spend hour after hour searching for the latest manifesting hack, not realizing that if you put that level of intensity and commitment into the techniques you already use, your manifestation would naturally show up as a side effect. And I get it. I have fallen into this trap more times than I would like to admit. We all want to find a quick fix, a hidden solution that could give us our desires on a silver platter. But nothing works faster and better than being loyal to the manifestation routine you've already started. I'm also aware that many of you have already come to the same conclusion. You know that you should be committed. You intend to be committed. You just can't figure out how. So let's talk about how to master this crucial step, and let's overcome our tendency to fall off course. 1. Have a manifesting routine and keep it simple. First of all, have a manifesting routine, a system that makes you think about your desire on a regular basis. Why? Because it's a lot easier to stick to a concrete plan of action than following through with a vague notion like I'm going to think from my desire. A manifesting routine forces you to consistently think from your desire. Although they can take various shapes and forms, every manifesting routine has two key components. 1. A focusing method, visualizing, scripting, affirming, etc., compelling you to think from your desire with all your mental energy. 2. A predetermined duration and frequency of the chosen focusing technique. For example, Person A could have a routine of visualizing twice a day for at least 15 minutes. Person B could commit to repeating his affirmations 3 times a day for 10 minutes. And Person C could affirm in the morning for 10 minutes and script every night for 20 minutes. Now, please give yourself the maximum chance of following your manifesting routine by making it as simple as possible. You need a routine that you can execute even on your worst or busiest days, not one that is catered to your easy ones. Regarding your focusing method, choose only one that you will do every single day. If you've chosen visualization, stick to visualizing one scene. If you've chosen affirmations, limit their numbers to 4 or 5. When it comes to frequency and duration, try not to go overboard either. For example, setting out to visualize 8 times daily for 10 minutes could be difficult to stick to on a day when you have a family emergency or a demanding task at work. My recommendation is to create a bare minimum routine that you can confidently stick to, come rain or shine. Of course, on days when you have more time and energy, you are allowed and encouraged to put in extra repetitions of your focusing sessions. However, avoid scattering your focus and mental energy by adding extra affirmations and scenes to visualize if you haven't even manifested the ones you are currently working on. Just stick to those you've chosen in the first place. Give them enough repetitions to become natural to your mind. It is the frequency, the habitual occupancy, that is the secret of success. The oftener we do it, the more natural it is. Fancy assembles. Continuous imagination fuses. A caveat: setting up and following a manifestation routine is not a license to have a bad mental diet. However, logic dictates that the more time you devote to your routine, the less time you have to spend on your mental diet. 2. Accept that doubtful and anxious thoughts will knock on your door. Regarding the manifesting process, the majority struggle with similar negative thoughts. Never dwell on them. But more importantly, don't act on them. Let's go over the most common ones. Should I change my affirmations? No. As long as you only use a couple of short ones that imply your wish is fulfilled, your affirmations are fine. Don't change them. Also, avoid adding to them. Should I change the scene I'm visualizing? Again, no. If your scene is short and implies that your wish is fulfilled, you are good. What if I cannot manifest this desire? You and your desire are not immune to the law of assumption. As long as you are trying to manifest something that others, consciously or unconsciously, have already manifested, you can replicate their success. I cannot comment on growing angel wings or other strange stuff. My circumstances are really bad. There is no way the law of assumption can get me out of this mess. No matter how bad your circumstances are, they can be changed by the law of assumption. In fact, your circumstances can only be changed permanently by the law of assumption. As Neville says, everything we do, unaccompanied by a change of consciousness, is but a futile readjustment of surfaces. However we toil or struggle, we can receive no more than our assumptions affirm. What if manifesting is hogwash, and I'm wasting my time? If you have consciously manifested anything before, you know it's real. If you haven't manifested anything consciously before, it's time for you to get immersed in the success stories of others. It should have manifested by now. How do you know that? By comparing your manifestation journey to another's. If you use the same affirmations and put in the same amount of reps as someone who already manifested what you wanted, that still doesn't mean your desire will materialize in the same time frame. Maybe you needed to affirm 1 more time, or 1,000 to fully convince your mind. Remember, no 2 people begin manifesting with identical programming. 3. If the 3D is throwing you curveballs, don't jump to the conclusion that you are doing something wrong. Don't be surprised if you suddenly find yourself in dire or annoying circumstances when you start manifesting, especially when you work on a desire challenging your deepest limiting beliefs. Personally, I experienced my car getting broken down, getting nauseous, getting stuck in snowstorms for hours, and the list goes on. The common element in these events is that they always required my full and immediate attention, as well as they always happened right before my desire physically manifested. In essence, they felt like a last-ditch effort of my mind trying to keep the status quo by forcing me to focus on my circumstances and not on my desires. If something similar happens to you, don't panic. You are probably very close to getting your manifestation. 4. Fall in love with boredom, or at least try to accept it. Every scene and affirmation will become boring after enough repetition. However, that's not a bad thing. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what we want. We want our conscious mind to get bored of listening to us. Why? Because when the conscious mind gets bored, it becomes inattentive to our imaginings and lets our words and pictures sink into our subconscious mind without any rejection. So don't worry if your manifesting routine feels monotonous. It should actually feel like that after a couple of days. The process of manifestation is a lot like giving birth to a baby. The first creative act is usually the most fun and exciting part. After that comes a period of keeping your creativity alive. During this phase, your job is to feed your baby and make it strong enough to survive. This part is not as much fun and is quite repetitive too, but it will all be worth it when you finally meet your baby on the outside. 5. Track the days when you successfully stick to your routine. The world we currently live in made us addicted to instant feedback. We post something on social media, and the likes and comments roll in within seconds. No wonder your mind immediately looks for confirmation that you are on the right track when you start manifesting. So what can you do when your manifestation is not instant? When the gratification is delayed for days or months? How do you deal with your conscious mind that craves a pat on the back? The solution is simple. Keep a record of the days you stick to your routine. I use a mobile app called Strides for this purpose. However, a simple calendar works too. Why does tracking your routine work so well? First, seeing your streak at the end of the day gives you a much-needed dopamine boost. Second, it keeps you motivated even when your 3D doesn't show visible movement. Finally, the record signals to your mind that you are making progress. You are not laboring in vain. I am going to list a few of the mistakes that I did to help you. Number 1, which is the biggest issue for anyone that's ever had issues manifesting: checking the 3D. Just stop. Consciousness is your only reality, and the 3D is a reflection of that. If you know our situation sucks and you feel like it's unchangeable or manifesting is our last hope, why would you continue to check 3D knowing that will make you have doubts and mess up our process? Just why would you do that to yourself? Exactly. Next. Overthinking or complicating things, which is also a result of checking the 3D or validating the 3D more than consciousness. You're probably doing this because you want it to happen fast or just have a very deep desire for something. Live it in your conscious and fulfill it. Do I wait for her to text me after I did Sats, or do I just say it's done even though I can't see it? You literally just saw it in my imagination, which is 1000% more real than the 3D.